Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Jodo Cast, your Star Wars gaming podcast. This is episode 148. My name is Evan Lewis. I am, of course, joined by Leo Andry.
Hey.
And Joe Latovsky.
Merry Christmas.
And Kurt Larson.
Hello, hello.
And as always, we are joined by our patrons who are with us live in Discord chat. Thanks to everyone. Yeah, look at all
They're
them.
Cheering. No, please sit back down. Sit back down. We have a show to do.
You may be seated. Yes, and it is the most wonderful time of year. It is the end of the year, and as longtime listeners may know, this is when we get right to brass tacks and talk about the hopes and shattered dreams from the past year and look ahead to future shattered dreams in the coming year. And
I feel like past and loyal listeners will be surprised that we've recorded this so soon. I feel like usually we don't record this until like early January.
To be
when it is in
fair,
fact pre-Christmas.
I mean, there's multiple days left in the year. There could be like a new game that comes out and throws all our rankings off. So,
Yeah,
well,
I mean, we used to be...
wasn't Jedi Fallen Order? Didn't that like come in after The Wire, and it wasn't able to be in like the Game Awards?
No, because it came out end of November, if I remember right.
Do you remember? Yeah, it came out in November.
In any event, aren't the
I'm just saying we're doing good.
March?
We're doing good this year.
We are. It's
we're
good.
On the ball, firing on all cylinders.
We're on the ball that gets dropped at the end of the year.
All one cylinder.
We're on space Vespas, and we're zooming really fast down Mos Espa alleys.
I will not have anyone talking badly about the space Vespas. I thought they were cool as shit.
How soon before they're announced in Legion?
Cool, but come on. That chase was not cool. Nobody thought that chase was cool.
When are they going to come out with a miniatures game that's just street racing and it's most of the minis are those guys? You set up your little Tatooine village, and then it's got racing rules, and you drive around.
It should be the sequel to Super Bombad Racing.
Yeah, but in tabletop form. I guess it could just be a video game, but it's like the slowest racing game you've ever played. It's like mobility scooters.
Kind of Bombad Racing.
Semi-Bombad. But yes, if you're a patron, you can be joining us live. You can be contributing to this episode and all episodes at all times, always. Just go to patreon.com/thejodocast to see more. But you can just join the Discord and hang out with us all day, every day. You don't have to be a patron to do that. And you can find the link for that over at jodocast.com, along with other links that will improve your life. It's proven... big asterisk to do so. And since it's the end of the year, we're not going to do what we've been playing, because that's all we're going to be talking about is what we've been playing for the entire year. And correct me if I'm wrong. Because I could be. I'm an old man. I forget things. This will be Kurt's first time, correct? Joining us for the end of the year spectacular.
You know what that means.
Oh.
I don't know what it means.
There's a bucket of slime that we hid in Kurt's house.
Pull that lever.
Why do we even have that lever?
Bucket of minis.
That's better than a bucket of Nuln oil.
Leo's tower.
That's a crime against humanity. Yep, he brought all of his tower over just to drop on you. So we've got multiple categories that we're going to be looking at for the best of this past year, the year of the Force 2022. And we have an extra voice, so each category is going to take a little bit extra time. I deleted
Are you drinking a salad?
Am I making a salad?
No, sorry.
Drinking.
Leo took a drink, and I said, "Are you drinking a salad?"
No, that's mint.
Looked
Yeah,
like a
that's
bunch of
mint,
spinach.
son. Is that a mint
lot.
julep?
That's
Yeah.
it's just
we had. I know it's more of a summer drink, but you know what? I had a bunch of
gonna
mint
say.
left over
it's a
from
bunch of spinach and
a meal I
vegetable
made.
oil.
So mint
But-
julep, it is.
I mean, when you've got like just enough to make pesto, and then you're like, what do I do with the rest of this?
Sorry for
Well, I guess it'd
derailing
be
us.
basil.
I thought
You
that
put
was a lot of
mint in your
leaves.
pesto.
Why
The
not?
listeners will really appreciate it too.
Well, you could. I mean, you could make a basil julep.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, I've heard of
Basil.
doing that.
You were making larb, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
I'm sorry.
I knew it. On today's episode, we're going to learn how to make larb, as in I larb you. Okay, no,
The
for
dish?
real.
Okay.
We actually do have a cooking channel, so anyone listening, like if you want some great cooking tips, join the Discord just for that. Okay, so the best of, and looking back on the past year, the first category that we're going to be looking at this year is Rookie of the Year, and that is games that came out this
a
year
good movie.
or saw most of their play during this calendar year. And it doesn't have to be like a whole new game. It can be like an expansion of an existing game.
I thought it was
So-
Wookiee of the Year. I'm just changing
I
mine.
put
If only. It'd be like that
uh,
kid from that Disney movie.
Chewbacca Bop It that I got for Secret Santa last year. It's the only Wookiee I had this year.
Oh my. That's unfortunate.
Oh, you can see him on the shelf. No, only
Oh.
people tuning
Oh,
in
okay.
live can. The Chewbacca Bop It.
Black
He's doing it.
Chrysanthemum. He's the Wookiee of the year.
He's doing
He
it all
actually
for the
made it. He
Wookiee.
made the transition to
Fair.
live action.
Yeah,
He
good
did.
point.
He is Wookiee of the Year. Okay, Joe's given us his answer. I guess it's
That was-
Chewy Bop.
That's for
huh?
Wookiee
No?
of the Year. I
Too
do have
late.
something for Rookie of the Year.
Oh, okay.
Fine.
Well, who are you? Are we starting with me?
Yeah,
Open my envelope?
Well,
Yep,
you
you.
opened your mouth.
Okay. I have a bunch of
I go, you
ties.
go.
I'm cheating on this one.
All right, did
Because
you use
there were-
invisible ink on the on the notes?
I did. I didn't want you guys to be spoiled by my things.
And influence our votes to. same
Okay,
things.
okay.
I want you to be surprised.
Well, I'm surprised. Go ahead. You have the floor.
So my four-way tie for Rookie of the Year, because there was a surprising number of little like, oh, would you look at that? A little new Star Wars board game. Something Wild, a Funko card game, which was surprisingly pretty fun. Clone Wars Pandemic, which is pretty cool, and a surprise that just kind of hopped out onto shelves. Star Wars Villainous, which was also very neat, and Jabba's Palace, which is I think the worst of the four I mentioned, but not terrible, and just another fun little game that came out, and went, oh, here's the new game for Joe's shelf.
Yeah. I thought about putting Clone Wars Pandemic on mine as well, because I did enjoy the game. It was fun, but like I think I talked about, I think at the end of the day, I still think I enjoy the original Pandemic better. But it was, I mean, still a solid game. I haven't got to try Villainous yet, though. But I really do still want to play that.
Yeah, I completely forgot about Star Wars Villainous. I'm guessing that's going to be something I'm getting for Christmas because my my in-laws, we all love playing Disney Villainous. So I've played a lot of Disney Villainous and I've gotten good at it. So I'm sure Star Wars Villainous will be under my tree in a few
Yeah,
days.
it's cool.
I know it will be for me because I got it for my kid.
I think I
You
say
know.
I got it for myself. Well, there you go.
Yeah, that's the way to do
Heyo.
it.
We've got a white fox joining us tonight. How you doing there, buddy? Okay, so
Oh shit, he's got speaking
shit,
privileges.
he has
I know.
a
Shut
voice.
him down. Shut him
Mute this
down.
man. Mute this man.
Banned.
You too can.
You can also be a patron. We appreciate you, Seth. Thank you so much. We love you. Bye. No, stay here. Stay here. Just jump into patron chat and join us there.
Forgot to remove his guest role from the last time he was a guest on it.
Anybody listening won't have heard all of the obscenities he shouted because he's not in our Zencaster, but
that's true.
That is true.
He could just stay here. No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, I mean, anything he says will not be on the recording.
Yeah.
But probably best to stick to form.
That was our venerable game master for when we tried to be serious RPG people.
Okay. I think it's time for another Rookie of the Year award.
You're right.
Oh, we need the drummers from Jabba's Palace Special Edition. It's not a drum roll, but it's like the big sideways
boom.
Yeah. And the guy that yells, and you see his
dang.
There you go. That guy.
Get a good look.
I have no idea. I'm sure you have his CCG card.
Yeah, his name is Joe Yowza.
Of course it
and
is.
He's from Endor.
Oh.
He's a Yuzum. Yes, he is. Kurt knows what's up. He's a Yuzum. It just makes it. I love him because of a not real behind the scenes fact from one of those Arlnauts videos that were making fun of the things you didn't know about Star Wars. And it was all the names that they almost used for Joe Yowza, and one was like, Joe, throw your hands in the air.
Wow. That should be your nickname. All right. Rookies. The best episode starring Leo. Go.
Rookies.
Yeah, Rookies. That was a great episode.
Of what?
The Clone Wars.
Episode 5.
Disagree. Not good.
Yeah,
anyway.
They sacrifice they kill a god droid, so it's pretty
good stuff. It's great. Yeah, my favorite too. I put down the Shadow Collective for Legion. I didn't personally play it, but I thought, all the minis were really cool. And just it's ended up being a really, really powerful faction and has done really well for itself since it came out. Although it's been a little overshadowed recently by Blizzard Force, but yeah. So I thought, it wasn't, like I said, it's not something I've been playing, but I think it's performed well enough that it deserved a shot here.
Strong agree. I'm gonna reiterate you later. So
I was gonna say there are some negative points that we'll talk about later.
Oh, we will.
I finally painted all of my Shadow Collective, but I haven't. I've played some of them in different factions, but not like an actual Shadow Collective thing. So they're there. I had fun painting them, but that's about my exposure to them.
That's my entire gaming career. Okay, Kurt, go for it.
For my Rookie of the Year, I almost said Lego Skywalker since it was like a brand new game. But I ended up going with an expansion. Like the biggest surprise release of the year for me was the Armada Rapid Reinforcements Print and Play expansion. And it was just a cool surprise. I think everything in it was good and cool and stuff I wanted to try. I would have preferred a real physical release, but it was still cool to get a release for a game that I didn't think they were going to make anything new for. So I thought that was really cool.
I mean, at this point, pretty much any release at all for Armada is a big deal.
For sure. It really restored my hope, and my hope that there will be more of these too. So that ended up making it the biggest rookie, whatever. It was cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like I perennially have Armada in a different category on here year after year. It's usually the missed out on one because I loved that demo at Gen Con so much. But we'll get to personally missed out on in a little bit. My rookie.
I feel like I was just gonna say I feel like Armada people, though, they kind of have like sort of like I don't know, maybe like I don't know how to say it. Like I don't know, maybe like an abused sort of.
Oh,
You know,
Stockholm
I mean,
syndrome.
it's like they're in an abusive relationship where like every now and then Fantasy Flight AMG is just all like, no, baby, I didn't mean it. Here's some printed play for you. I got this for you. Don't
I'm
leave
sorry.
me.
I'll come running back now.
Well, it could be worse. I thought about putting Armada as most improved. We'll get to that category later, but I thought, this is the one game that wasn't made worse in any way. So I thought that was, but that, no. Anyway.
That is the most 350 degree take I think you could possibly have. For me, rookie of the year, and it does this whole category is funky because it's like new stuff, but it could be related to already existing stuff. And I'm going to piggyback on what Leo was saying about the Shadow Collective, but for me, it's that whole wave of whole new additions to Legion. The whole scum. We're using scum like terminology from IA and X-Wing to describe all the new stuff that they brought out with the Shadow Collective and the sub factions for Shadow Collective, and making, especially for me, I love that they came out with that new card pack that reinvents Boba Fett, Cad Bane, Bosk, and breathes new life into those characters, giving them way more versatility, in my opinion, just from a non-hardcore, tournament person, just looking at them from a 5 million foot view. Like, all of that was enough to make me say, you know what, Legion, you're right. I should be paying closer attention to you. So yeah, and that it's all of that is a new thing. It's not just some great new models for the Rebels or great new Jedi for the Republic. It was all new stuff, and I think that was rad. Lots of good decisions there. We'll talk about some of the missteps here, and actually coming right up. So yeah, that's it. I think for our rookies, we got all those new board games from Joe. Like, I forgot about most of those. Shadow Collective, absolutely. The Armada that Kurt mentioned, absolutely. But with that, we got some duds. So we're gonna look at the biggest dud, and this is not just opinion, but it's looking at the sales, looking at the public opinion, not just our individual, but that's also included. We're going to start with the leader in this category. Leo will tee us off for the biggest dud.
I put down the Legion Battle Forces, partially because some of the battle forces ended up being a little lackluster. There was some confusing choices about what was and was not included in some of these battle forces, and there ended up being just during the whole Battle Force release phase, there was just a whole string of quality control issues with Atomic Mass. We had the missing upgrade card for Gar Saxon, where, and then AMG, their solution was, we just here's a copy that you can print off the website.
Here's a PDF.
And that another podcast network, Fifth Trooper Network, went out, and anybody who emailed them they sent all those people 2 free copies of the Gar Saxon Shield upgrade card that they printed themselves at their own expense. That Atomic Mass / Asmodee couldn't be bothered to provide that kind of customer service, and a third party had to pick up the slack for them. It was not a good look for them. But then, as the other battle forces rolled out, we kept seeing more and more mistakes like that, missing tokens, missing bases,
Misprinted tokens.
misprinted
cards.
tokens, upgrade cards with misprints on them. A whole host of things like that just made the battle force rollout, and then there was delays. The Blizzard Force is only just finally hitting shelves now. And there was a lot of there was a lot of new people coming into my local store and looking at the Battle Force boxes on the shelves and thinking about getting into it. And when I would talk to them, I said, just be aware, if you're buying them, there's going to be these problems with the boxes.
So you're hanging out at the game store like, are you looking at Battle Forces? I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Well, that's the leagues too, because we've had my local league is as big as I've ever seen it, and it's great. And there's a number of new people, and a lot of them are like, "Oh, these battle forces look cool," and people are like, they are like fun and cool, but this stuff, and it's extra egregious that here's the welcome to the game product sort of thing. Like people like us don't really need them. They're definitely aimed at people who are getting into a faction or the game in general. And okay, here's the starter, so to speak, and it's full of these things that you may or may not know about if you don't have the other people in your community telling you that, hey, this is actually misprinted, this is wrong, you should have this card, because you might not know otherwise.
Yeah. And another thing that I think is it took AMG forever to finally make some kind of statement about it. It was at least like a month of people online talking about,
and they did only mention the battle forces. There have been other things too, and that they didn't.
And I feel like they addressed it with a sort of half-hearted tweet that was just and we're taking steps to address it. Yeah, and we've heard zero things about those steps since then. So
taking steps is the thoughts and prayers of the gaming industry.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Their steps are, we're going to announce Shatterpoint and hopefully distract you from this shit. I'm done now. There.
Okay.
I got it all in my system.
I feel like this one is just going to be a relay where we're just passing the same baton on.
A little bit.
Kurt, what you got?
I almost put Battle Forces. All the reasons Leo said. Also, just that I find them very boring. They're not.
They don't live up to the potential of you could have given us Han Solo on a Tauntaun or something very thematically appropriate.
Yeah.
We got the one heavy stormtrooper thing, which is a little cool, but that's the only one. It's not that interesting. The battle cards are not that interesting overall.
Echo-based defenders and Blizzard Force, especially Blizzard Force, are slightly overpowered and imbalanced in a lot of ways.
It feels like the balance was too much of an afterthought. Well, we've already kind of been hashing this out. Ultimately, I went with a different answer here for my actual biggest dud, which is the X-Wing expansions that came out this year. And this is more personal than broader public opinion, although I haven't really seen people hyping up these new ships and stuff that have come out. I'm not as in tune with the X-Wing community anymore anyways, but, it just felt very depressing to have these ships come out that I wasn't at all interested in buying, and the pilots weren't cool to me, and the abilities weren't interesting or making me want to buy them. Going from like buying every expansion and multiple copies of every expansion in years past. It used to be I would be like, I don't need this new expansion, and then I would see it on the shelf at the store, and I would black out and wake up in my car with 2 copies in my hand and be like, oh, I just had to buy it because it was so cool. And these, like none of the ones this year have done anything for me.
I can't even think of what they are.
P-38, Battle of Gavin, Battle
Did
of
the Razor
Coruscant.
Crest come out this year?
That was last year.
Okay.
That was last year?
And then the newest thing was Hot Shots and Aces 2, which was like, oh, at least there's going to be a bunch of cool pilots for ships I already have. But I wasn't interested in any of the cards they showed. And I don't know, it's just a sad... I was already moving in this direction.
It's real tough when there's like... At least, in our area, Kurt, there's 0 X-winging going on at the moment.
Yeah. And so it's kind of like the culmination of a sad trend of X-Wing for me, of just doing it less, and used to be like so into it and loved every expansion. Like I said, even ships that were dumb ones I didn't care about ended up being really fun to fly, like the Skurg or whatever. It was like a really fun expansion. And
yeah, I remember those days.
It just has all drained away, and it's sad, and I hate to be negative about a game I used to love so much, but the expansions aren't doing it for me anymore. So those are the biggest dud for me. Should have been an auto buy in years past, but they just didn't do it.
I'm going to go next, and I'm going to take that baton and run with it, because for me it is the overall AMG quality control that's a huge dud. And a lot of stuff has already been mentioned, but the thing that really stuck with me, the thing that like has just been in the back of my head as I'm looking at every new rules release or discussion on AMG stuff, I think it was Dana Howell. She got a Battle Force, and she said, okay, where are the instructions? And then she scanned the barcode that says, scan here to get the instructions.
Yep.
And it went to it wasn't the right one. It went to something completely different. Something like that. And just like, how, guys? This isn't hard.
You've got to be on your game for these types of releases,
Actually, for Atomic Mass, anything involving the internet and websites is extremely hard.
I've changed my answer, which I haven't even said yet, but my new answer is Atomic Mass Games website, and anything touching it or related to it it hurts me continually, especially because they were like, hey, we're gonna have a new website coming out I don't know, like 3 months ago, and then they did they showed like a picture of the
that new website was originally supposed to be out like this summer.
And they posted like a picture of a mock-up, and it looked decent, and then like nothing happened, and then they like changed their little Squarespace site to make it from like really, really bad to only pretty bad.
Yeah, they finally
improved,
they
but it still
did
terrible.
finally fix that some. They got rid of that weird giant banner at the top that didn't have any. That was just empty.
Just the same art forever, and you couldn't click on it. There was no text, no information. So it's better in that regard, but it's still one of the worst websites that I have to engage with on a regular basis.
There's still, if you go to the page, the Star Wars stuff is up at the top now, and there's a button that says Star Wars transmissions. But if you click that, it's still only X-Wing articles. So if you want to get any of the Legion transmissions, you have to go. You can't go to the generic Star Wars transmissions section. You have to go into Legion and then click on the Legion transmissions button.
And then if you want to see a big list of them, they have it like laid out like a blog where it doesn't do like a read more. Here's the entirety of every single article in one scroll. So like if you wanted to like scroll through and look at older stuff, you got to scroll through every single. I'm always 1 inch away from making a video about their website, and I just don't feel like that. It's really bad, and I hate it. And it's even within Squarespace, I don't have any experience with Squarespace, but I know you can make it less shitty using only the tools they have.
Of course you can.
Like, I kind of hate to rag on these missteps, but when they keep adding up and keep adding up, it's like we're just used to a really high level of polish overall on these games. I think
That's
FFG mostly did really, really great with some of these things, and it just
yeah.
feels like way too small a team to make these things happen.
This is what we've been used to. Plus, it always just hurts my brain thinking about how this company has they have the license to produce products for the two most popular pop culture franchises in human history, probably. Maybe like Pokemon is bigger or something, but you know what I'm saying. And
yes,
they've got Marvel and Star Wars, and the way they're putting that out into the world is making people like us go, what is happening here? It feels like there should be a higher level of quality when you've got the pedigree of those two franchises in your, you know what I'm saying? Like it's very weird.
Absolutely.
Like, if this was like we're playing these games we love, and it's like an original IP, and this is like a startup company, which it is a new company, but you know
you give them a lot more slack in that case.
I absolutely would. But as it is, they've got Star Wars and Marvel, and they've got the backing of the biggest, you know, they're owned by Asmodee, which is the biggest, you know, company in the tabletop industry. It's all of these issues. It seems like I don't understand how it's happening. Maybe there's, you know, reasons that make sense that we just don't know about. But I don't know. It's strange, and I hate their website. I don't like it.
Yeah, we're talking in patron chat right now about both Edge Studio and Atomic Mass Games have kind of had a tumultuous time of it since they were designated as the caretakers of the RPGs and the miniatures respectively, and it's just like, why is it so hard? These are it sounds as if these are small companies on their own.
Hey guys, we got a new set of products coming out. We didn't include a printout of the assembly instructions in the box because I don't know, we saved 2 cents and it adds up. So we do have a little QR code that'll let people just look at it on the website. So before these come out, just make sure you upload a PDF to Squarespace. You just drag it, you drop it, you hit publish, you make sure it's there. That's all you got to do. Can you do that? How do compete?
Yeah.
Okay, so was that your dud, Joe? Are you taking the baton?
I will.
You're not going to finish this race.
Dud. I'll tell you what I wrote.
Okay.
My actual dud that I had written before you guys got me all worked up is Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga.
What?
That's why I put it in invisible ink, because I wanted to shock you. Shock value here. I really like it, and I put over 70 hours into it, and I'm still returning to it every once in a while.
Okay.
It's kind of like a slow burn. It's on my dud list because the exception of all the quality control stuff, everything else this year has been pretty good. And I thought Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga was going to be an 11 out of 10 for me. And it really was more like a 7 out of 10. Still good game, but it was missing. Doesn't have the replayability is kind of iffy. There's no character creator. All of the DLC characters are unvoiced, which the DLC for the Rebels characters did not include Chopper. The DLC for the Rebels characters coming out. I played through all of the Lego Force Awakens, which I think is a better game overall. Their DLC, their after launch support was better. The DLC had actual story content. It had Chopper. It had voice stuff for.
You keep bringing up Chopper.
It definitely was. If we remember, that game got delayed and delayed and delayed, and it kind of shows like it could have been delayed a little bit more. Maybe it's still very fun. It's very funny. I really like it. It's just not as. It has enough little polish issues that it was like, it's not going to stick in my heart the way the older Lego games did.
Yeah, I liked it, but it was a little bit of a flash in the pan. And I think the DLC is a great point. Like, the skins aren't enough to bring me back. If there was more to the DLC, I would keep coming back and playing it again, and then I would get hooked in again, right? But when it's just the skins, and they're not even voiced, it's like not enough.
Yeah, every once in a while when we're between games, Bethany and I will hop on and like knock out a few more little side missions on our way to get 100%, but that's about it at this point.
I feel like
Wow.
adding skins and then calling it DLC is, I don't know. I mean, yeah, technically it is DLC because it is content that you have to download. But
yeah,
You know,
it's not enough because
to me, DLC feels like it should be a level, a mission, uh, a map in like a a multiplayer game, something like that.
I
Yeah,
remember being excited originally because I was like, whoa, they have so many characters that are going to come out. It sounds cool. So I got the whatever special edition. But yeah, when they're not even voiced, it's like, oh, why would I
right.
play
I
this
want to.
character
Yeah.
instead of one of the ones that's already in
Yeah,
the
I
base
want to
game?
play as Urail Poof, who's fully voiced and has really goofy lines, or like
exactly.
yeah. I'd rather play as the guy with goofy lines that the devs clearly put too much effort into, rather than somebody cool like Bo-Katan who doesn't say anything and just grunts like every.
And some of them, I don't want to go off on a tangent, but some of them were like, I was like excited to play as Ahsoka, and she like runs really weird, and I was like, why is this character animated so badly? And so I didn't play
A
this
lot of
character
the
that I wanted
DLC
to do.
characters recycle animations too. You can see those like, okay, here's the run that they give to most of the female characters and the melee attack that's reused. And that's
Yeah.
Oh
really
my.
cool. So it does feel a little sloppy, but so that's why it's a dud. I still think it's a great game, but not as great as it should have been.
All right. That's a strong way to close out the biggest dud. Now we're going to go on to the game from this year that you personally missed out on. And we're going to start this one with Kurt.
The number one thing I missed out on was Leo's Legion Leagues.
Is that what they call them?
It's got a nice ring to it.
Legion.
Yeah.
I mean, just be like playing Legion in general, really.
Oh,
I
okay.
played a few basement matches, not that many, but like every time Leo was posting
Like
like
Fight
these
Club?
cool missions they were getting, and how many people were playing, it was like really felt like I was missing out, and I never quite felt like joining and going and playing in the store, but I felt that hole in my heart, like, oh man, it would be really cool to play and do the Dianoga and try out the new factions every week and stuff like that. So yeah, that was a miss for me.
Well, we missed you too at League, Kurt.
And not at League, at Leo's Legion League.
Come on down to Leo's Legion League. We got the best league here going on this side of the Mississippi
got-
River.
Leagues of Legion. That's league as in the nautical measurement.
We got Red League. We got Brown League. We
You
got
want
so many
stormtroopers?
leagues
I got
to choke a
stormtroopers.
camel. What do I got to do to get you in the Stormtrooper today? All right. For me, personally, there's a lot of stuff. But if there's one thing that I feel like at this point of the year I missed out on, it was getting back into Star Wars The Old Republic when they dropped Game Update 7.0, Legacy of the Sith. It's when they dropped that fancy new pre-rendered trailer that was so cool and announced the return of Darth Malgus, and they brought back a whole new big storyline and going back to Manan that we all know from KOTOR and a whole bunch of more stuff. And then they redid the whole class and advanced class system, so you can just pick your class and then pick a style of play that you want. And they have done a lot lately with SWTOR. I'll talk more about it later because it's really impressive when you pay attention to what they're doing. it's like, wow, not only is the game still around, they're
I was gonna say,
doing a
I always
lot.
think it's just impressive when I stop and think, and I'm like, geez, remember, remember when that game teetered on the edge of just going away completely?
I mean, yeah, that's how it has seemed ever since the summer that it came, the summer of 2012, when they were like, "Hey, everybody, we're gonna go free to play," and everyone was like, "Ugh."
Yeah,
Well, thanks for the 5 months there, SWOTOR, but
It's
they've
that's
wild that they're still doing big expansions, basically.
they're doing pretty good for themselves, quite
that's the
honestly.
crazy thing about free to play stuff like that is people dump crazy amounts of money into those. I mean, like
Yeah.
all these mobile games that rake in billions of dollars.
Oof.
It's like those are all funded by 1% of the player base, you
Ugh,
know. And
yeah, Galaxy of
I'm sure,
Heroes.
I'm sure SWOTOR is no different.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun. I don't feel like I missed out on that game, but it's always like one that was like, well, if we had a big group of like us in particular, I'd like hop on because I probably still have a character somewhere. I think I only played it for like a little bit.
uh,
It was a bit too MMO-y for my taste.
Well, I mean
that's part
that
of its
is what
identity
it is.
crisis. I mean, they tried to,
You just got to play
take
long.
the
You got to play long enough until you can hit the the old Sith Empire part of the story.
Basically, I think that game would be a lot of fun
Was it
for me.
Knights of the Fallen Empire?
Fallen Empire. Yeah,
Yeah.
If I could
the
skip all
infinite, not
combat, I'd
infinite.
probably love that game because I'm like, oh, the dialogue is great because it's like Mass Effect and Bioware stuff, and then the combat just does not do it for me at all. It's like, oh, here I'll click,
Yeah,
I'll just hit these numbers on my keyboard a couple times and call it good.
that's the MMO life.
Yeah,
You
not
you
for
get
me, but I do
you
like
get your
getting
cycle down, and that's it.
little pets and new playing dress up and having conversations with Star Wars people. That's fun. So somebody do the
Oh,
combat for me.
and they've got inspired by outfits of Mandalorian and Obi-Wan,
I bought the Cad Bane
and
one back when I was playing.
yeah. And I'm gonna be talking more about it, honestly. So I'm gonna leave that there for now, and we'll move on to somebody who's next after me. It's Joe.
My missed out on is somewhat paradoxical because my missed out on is Star Wars RPGs, which I played more of this year than in many years past because we started our High Republic RPG campaign, which I had a lot of fun with, and we kept up, I think, once a month up until somewhere around the summer, and a lot of just life happened, and we didn't make it continue. And we do have plans to continue that as well as maybe play some West End games stuff. We've got plans for Star Wars RPGs stuff to come, but because it's been so long since we touched that campaign that I had all planned out, and I loved our two little characters, the Master and the Padawan, I put that on my list for missed out on because I miss doing that stuff.
That's a good call. It's a very good call. See, if I was more of a people person, that's what I would have put. Like, we didn't continue my campaign. But I'm selfish.
There's always room for new campaigns because there's so many expansion books for that game system.
Well, we
You
can,
could do an awesome Andor one. There's like a whole between prequel and between original trilogy book. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, just chuck Force and Destiny out the window and
Everyone
just do Age of Rebellion and Edge of the Empire.
We all roll up a character. We all get a brick and we just go to town on some fascist heads.
Sounds great to me.
I mean, there's so much opportunity that we could shift the entire all of our content production into just Star Wars RPG stuff, which I don't think we're going to do because I've like too many other things. But there's so many things because our buddy Christian, just put out a a little one-sheet RPG called A Sunless Space. You can probably find it on Itch. That's inspired by Andor, and I want to play that on the show. He's been going through all the old West End games, so I want to have him run Tatooine Manhunt for us, which is the West End Games adventure that includes Jodo Cast. I want to continue our campaign, even if it means we just try and wrap it up in 2 sessions or something. There's a lot of role-playing game stuff to do.
Story of my life.
Got to do more clumsy and random.
You got to get more guest stars. Let's get Seth, Mr. White Fox, on here for some clumsy random. Turn the tables on him. Okay, Leo.
Okay, I put, for my missed out, I put Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga, because I did not get the game and I have not played it. But confession, I haven't actually played any Lego Star Wars games.
I mean, this was my first one, honestly.
I mean, I feel like
this was the one that got me on.
I think it might be almost like an age thing, because when the first ones came out, I was like, I don't know when that was.
I mean, it was 2005.
2005, yeah. So I was like 16 or something. So maybe I was still a little older than the game's target audience, but I'm like, this is awesome.
I didn't actually play any of the Lego games until
until you had children.
The Lego movie, the game for my kid. Yeah.
Well, I want you to get to Skywalker Saga, because I think you'll probably like it.
Yeah. I mean, I think I own at least the 2 oldest ones on Steam or in Epic Games or Good Old Games or one of those. I got them somewhere.
With the exception of The Force Awakens and maybe Lego Star Wars 3, The Clone Wars, going back and playing the original 2, they feel so crappy compared to Skywalker Saga, just visually and mechanically and all this stuff. Like, I don't know if I could go back and play those old ones.
I started playing the Harry Potter collection the other day because I got that free with the PlayStation Network.
Yeah,
so
I got that one too.
It's really good.
I imagine that's. I mean, because that one, at least the first one, is pretty old too. So
yeah, I think that the Harry Potter Lego was the last of the ones to do the mumble voices rather than going full voices. It was kind of the end of an era, but it was also like the best of all of those Lego games of that era. That one's good. I love the dynamic split screen in that game. I remember when it first happened, it blew my mind, because we were used to like running in opposite directions and the screen would only zoom out so far and you'd get annoyed at each other. And then in Harry Potter, if you do that, the screen seamlessly splits and then it comes back together when you get closer. And I was like, oh, that's amazing.
All right. Now we're going to talk about the most improved game. So a game released in previous years that saw a dramatic change for the better, presumably. And I'm really happy with how this worked out, because I'm going to say one thing, and then everybody else is going to say something completely
different. Everyone else is going to say, you're wrong, Evan.
And that's fine. That's perfectly fine. You know what? If we all just agreed, Leo would, be the one to disagree, even if he did agree, because it's not interesting if we all agree. So I'm going to start on this one. My most improved. I
disagree that I would do that.
See, that's what I'm talking about. So I did just get back into Star Wars: The Old Republic because they just dropped Game Update 7.2. And 7.2 actually introduces a whole bunch of changes that did not come with 7.0. They've updated the user interface. They've updated the character sheet. They are getting the game ready to move to 64-bit processing. They are moving the game from physical servers to cloud servers. So they are modernizing this game.
Question.
Yes.
Question in the back. When it comes to servers, versus cloud servers. Isn't a cloud server just a server? Like, is it just
Yes.
saying we don't own these servers anymore and we're going to pay
Yeah.
somebody else?
Yeah, that's all it means.
Well, but there's
Like-
also theoretically like dynamic scalability type stuff that maybe you don't have by default on regular servers.
So basically,
maybe
they're just saying we don't want these computers in our
Oh,
basement
crap.
anymore. We'll pay somebody else.
Yeah, it's the difference between owning the
I
slice
mean, I don't understand.
yourself.
What does that
and
mean for a player?
It
Not
can
much.
probably. Well, it can. I would imagine it can maybe potentially theoretically handle like Kurt was
More-
saying dynamic number of users compared to what a solid state server would be able, not solid state like that solid state, but
yeah, on-prem.
yeah.
And like theoretically, ideally, it would have better performance. Maybe it doesn't in practice, but I think ideally it would have better performance because you have actual server people who know what they're doing,
Yeah. And it
doing
might
that
say,
for you.
and it might have a better location for like wherever their data center is.
Mhm.
So like just general network. You might see less like just general like internet latency with your connection to the servers and things like that. But yeah, I don't know, how much benefit an actual like player's going to see. I think that's all. Most of those benefits are going to be on the BioWare EA side of things, where they don't have to pay to own and run these servers themselves anymore.
And upgrade them over time. That's
Yeah.
a big thing.
And if that means they can take that chunk, well, theoretically, again, if they can take that chunk of money they would have spent on maintaining their own servers and put them towards development and further modernizations, that sounds like a win to me. A lot of it's theoretical, but they are for a game that is this month celebrating its 11th anniversary. I mean, I'm just reiterating what we said a few minutes ago. It's kind of crazy where this game is right now. And they've just gotten a new... I don't know if Musco is like the head producer right now, but I know one of their longtime producers recently left, but he was there for a long time. And Musco is moving up the chain, and they've got a whole new team involved in the community. They've redone their forums. They are making progress and actually making things new and different. And to me, it's remarkable. I don't know. That's just me. Just to see what they're doing. Even if you're not a player, from a completely unbiased perspective, you can say, wow, they are still making improvements to quality of life for this game that doesn't have bazillions of people. And I think it's cool.
And they haven't had to do anything gimmicky like release SWTOR Classic or something like that, right?
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Amongst many things, they continue to bring out cool new events. Same old events are still here. They're progressing the story. They're moving things along, giving old players new ways to play. And if you want to go back and play Kill the Captain 10 more times, you can. All the old stuff is still there. If you want to contract the Rakghoul virus and spread it all over your allied space station, you can.
Yay.
Yeah. All right. That's it. That's enough for me. I think is it Joe time?
It's always joke time.
That's what I thought.
Or it's
Joe
just
Mama.
the rest of us time.
Yeah, it is the rest of you. Take it away.
Should we all say on three?
2, 1.
Outer Rim.
Unfinished business.
Go
was-
on.
Unfinished business just took a super good game and made it a super amazing great game. It's just unfinished business did a lot. It was great. I loved it.
Yeah, it wasn't a game that like needed improvement, but they still delivered even more characters and even more ways to play. Like there's more options to play it differently every time and just like better in every way.
So what does, I mean, I know this because we've talked about it ad nauseum and I played it. But for anyone that's listening, what does the Outer Rim expansion bring to the game?
Chopper.
Proper.
Chopper. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
For Joe.
New characters, new contacts, new planets,
new ships, a new end caps on the board so that you can get around the, like, you go through the core worlds to go from end to end, which adds new opportunities and challenges. A bunch of new cards, so there's less repetition between all of the little cards you get, as well as a bunch of new like equipment and all those things. Basically, every card, I think they added, the number of cards went up by like over twice as much.
And there's like new win conditions, basically, like almost an alternate type of gameplay.
You can choose to use these ambitions, I think they're called, which basically just gives your character a little personal mini story where it's like, okay, I'm trying to be a pirate thing, so I've got to do this, 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 and this to win. Whereas the other guy, he's trying to be a hero of the rebellion, so he's got to do this, 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 and fight a Star Destroyer. So you have your own little missions that kind of escalate in difficulty, which gives it each game more of like your own personal narrative arc rather than running around and doing whatever. And so it all ends in a bit more satisfying climax too. It's good. It's all great.
So if someone gets...
Also, my copy is specifically most improved because I got a box insert and fancy tokens for it.
Hey, yeah.
So if some lucky child gets Outer Rim for Christmas, and then they also get some Christmas money from Grandma, they should run to the nearest game store, friendly local game store, and pick up Unfinished Business.
Probably. I've said it. I said it in my review. This expansion is not necessary the way Rebellion's expansion is necessary for the game, in my opinion. But it does just take a great game and make it even better. So, like, if you like it, you should probably get it. But if you don't, the game you currently have isn't going to like have any faults or anything. You could even wait so that way you like see all there is to see first, and then you go, oh, all of a sudden there's more fresh stuff.
Mm-hmm. I thought you were gonna say just wait a year and then they'll collect it in a like a Game of the Year edition, and it'll be on discount on the Steam store.
Man, Leo, an official digital version of that game.
That would be cool. A fantastic digital game. That would be wildly good, in my opinion. Leo, any thoughts on Outer Rim, or has everything been said?
Joe kind of said it all. Yeah, just
he tends to.
I mean, like you said, it was a really good game that just got better.
Yeah, and I think along those lines, a lot of games had like good expansions and stuff, but then also had like some dud expansions or whatever. So there were like improvements and setbacks. Where here, I think it's like all improvements. So.
All right. This is the point in the editing in which either I or Joe or Kurt, or I suppose Leo, if no one else could do it, inserts the award ceremony music from the end of New Hope, because we are on Game of the Year. And no, this is not just a face-off between rookie and most improved. Doesn't even have to be a new game. Does not have to be a game that had drastic changes. It can just be a game that was awesome. A game that exists, that is Star Wars, and was awesome this past year. And we have come back around. It seems eliminating that other category was perfect, because now we're back to the top with Mr. Joe.
Well, I was going to be extra surprising and put Lego Star Wars as my dud and Game of the Year because I liked it. But I just put Outer Rim because my opinion, Outer Rim is the game that has cumulatively, if you could quantify the amount of like joy I've had throughout the year, there's probably the majority of it from gaming sources came from that Outer Rim. And now that I think of it, I'm just going to put this out there. Maybe Rookie of the Year is Fortnite. Because
I thought you might say that for Most Improved, honestly.
It sort of counts because I play as Han Solo and Boba Fett and stuff. But Outer Rim is my pick for Game of the Year. I should make a little trophy and send it to Corey Konezka.
I bet he would.
What kind of trophy do you think it would be? Like, what would you spray paint gold from the board game?
I mean, I have all the old tokens. I could like put them in
the
resin
credits
or something.
You got credits in there.
I mean, yeah, I feel like you'd probably just want to like do like a Millennium Falcon or something.
Yeah.
Or Chopper. Actually, I do have I think I have 3. At least 2 unpainted. So remember a while back Funko would do like subscription boxes full of Star Wars crap, and they stopped. There's one of those came with these dumb little chopper things that are just like clear glitter plastic. I have a couple of those sitting around because I'm always like, oh, just paint one day. We could use that. I'll make a chopper trophy.
That wouldn't be too bad. Although it occurs to me the cover art on Outer Rim is what? The Falcon being shot at by a TIE fighter?
Yes.
If you could take Millennium Falcon and then from X-Wing and then a TIE fighter from X-Wing and then use one of those like green acrylic rods as a blaster bolt from the TIE fighter and thereby attach the two on a pedestal.
Man, I don't think I have that kind of skill.
If I did, I wouldn't want to give it away. I'd want to keep it.
That's a good point.
Send them a picture. This is your trophy.
Or you know what? Yeah, just spray the box gold and say, you did it.
So after you spray, it's literally just a gold box because all of the exterior is.
Don't forget to varnish it because you don't want that gold coming off.
Only if I could like somehow emboss it so that even though it's monocolor, you could still see all the details.
Yeah, like spot just the title gold or something like that.
No wait. You know those metal posters that they're always trying to sell online?
No.
You know what I'm talking about? Leo, you know what I'm talking about. Die plate, disc plate.
Do you mean
Seth knows what I'm talking about?
Is it like an advertisement sign at a gas station from the 50s? Like a piece of tin that's painted?
I mean, it's probably a piece of tin, but it's literally like a poster, like you would get a picture of Boba Fett in metal. Get like a metal framed picture of the front of the box for Corey. Seth knows what I'm talking about.
It looks like Leo's talking, but I can't hear him.
They are metal
swappable
posters. You mount a magnet on the wall and you can swap out the metal posters.
I think I should just make a chopper or a Falcon.
Okay. Or just send him a card with the thumbs up Jodo cast. Great job, Corey.
Is there a Game of the Year section at like the Hallmark?
That's comedy gold, Kurt. That's A+.
Spray painting gold.
That's A+ right there. All right. We're gonna get on to our obligatory Leo Game of the Year. Past listeners will probably be placing their bets right now as to what it will be.
Yes. Well, for the Xth year running, the Star Wars CCG wins Game of the Year for me.
Not Star Trek CCG?
Actually, I did start playing the Star Trek CCG again this year. So
So good.
first edition.
The best edition.
Look right here. I've got empty Trouble with Tribbles wrappers
Oh.
from packs I've been opening.
Oh, don't tease me.
I've got a whole box full of empty Babylon 5 CCG wrappers right here.
Ooh.
Do you have a runner-up game? What would take second place this year?
We know we've never asked him that before.
What would be runner up to the Star Wars CCG? Oh, jeez.
The LCG, duh.
No.
Aww.
Sorry. Yoda stories.
Nice.
That's the runner up.
That's fair. That's fair. All right, Kurt, it's time for your first ever Game of the Year.
Game of the year.
Dun, 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 dun.
Brought to you by Jeff Keighley. No, not really. Don't sue us.
It's Outer Rim by a mile. The button nose, the apple cheeks. Outer Rim is the best, baby. I would reiterate everything Joe said. When I try to think about like the best Star Wars game, I was like, well, the one with not only the highest highs, but like the fewest lows. It's like the most unequivocal answer for me. I don't have to like say, well, except for these parts or whatever. It's like all good. So I think it's the game of the year.
Wow. Wow. That
Even though I don't think I've played it this year, but it's still the best, and I still liked opening up my expansion, even though I haven't played with it yet. It's just that good.
I think you did at least once this year come over to my house and you played it.
Was
with
that this
Chris.
year?
I think so.
Okay. I still haven't played the expansion yet, but
I think it was, like earlier this spring.
that does make sense because I don't remember it being winter at the time. So, yeah. It's been a long year, I guess.
yeah. Long year, am I right? Lemon, it's December. Okay, so I filled out my answers to this first, and I just went off the cuff, first thoughts, like put them down. And I said my game of the year, even though I own it because I got it on Super Sale on PlayStation, was going to be Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga because it introduced new content, in the form of Lego Last Jedi, which we never had, Lego Rise of
Did I make
Sky.
you change your mind?
Yeah,
Did I
I'm
ruin
getting
this game
there.
for you?
I'm getting there.
I feel bad.
No, you shouldn't. If you let me finish, you'll hear why. You'll be very happy. Lego Skywalker Saga brought new content, refreshed old content, livened everything up for modern systems. But I haven't played it, so I didn't get like that joy out of it. I just said it's probably the best game that came out this year. But when I think about the most fun, enthralling Star Wars gaming experience that I had this year, it was when Joe brought Outer Rim to my house for Gen Con. We broke it out on the first night, and we had literally on a board game, that is basically just running around a board with your ship and whatever, having cinematic quality story experiences that made sense thematically and got us really invested in the final play of the game. That's Outer Rim.
Outer Rim, baby.
Yeah.
By a mile. Like, it was so good. The next night, we got Christian involved, And I was playing like absolute trash that night. So it was not quite the same sort of memorable experience. But that's because I wasn't playing to type and I didn't have the right combo of uh, scum and ship and goals and everything. Like the first night, I was like, I'm going to be Han with the obvious Han uh, goal card, and he was Lando with the obvious Lando goals, and our goals intersected, and we, squared off. We were pals and then enemies, and everything just rolled together to make that session fantastic. So, by a country mile, Outer Rim with expansion, because we did play with the expansion, and it did make a difference from what I was able to tell. Absolutely game of the year. Send that man his award.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jodo Select.
So I was just thinking we should have left Seth's mic be hot. So now at this moment he could bust in and like dedicate the game of the year to Bill Clinton or whatever the hell it is that kid who stuck up on stage at the video game awards said.
Reformed. What
Something
was
about
it?
A rabbi.
Reformed Hasidic rabbi. Reformed Rabbi Bill Clinton. That's right.
Is he out there somewhere still? Or did they assassinate him?
Oh.
Jeff Healy showed up in his house and he said, "Nothing personal, kid.
Just business." Take a look at this trailer of me murdering this guy. Okay.
He's like, how about this for a world
I think this is the first time ever that everybody, but is this the first time that everyone but me has agreed on Game of the Year?
It might be.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
I think it's also magical that Evan played it twice and it was that like moving of an experience.
Yeah. It just captures the Star Wars feel that good.
I know. I agree. That was a fantastic game. The second game, I remember Christian had just like the worst luck. Everything was going poorly, very clearly because of things outside of his control. And it was very funny, but I felt bad because I'm like, oh, this is the first time he's played it. It's not going to feel good. But he's like, that was shitty, but also the game was really great. And I want to play it again.
Yeah. That's a sign of a game that is great despite the results. All right. Now we're going to have some fun. We're going to talk about... Well, what I used to want us to do was look back at last year's resolutions and kind of laugh and predictions and laugh at them, but I never remember to actually write them down. Except this time,
that could be a resolution this year.
Write them down. That would be good. So, in the interest of time, we're going to talk about the coming year and what we. Like, from each of us, a resolution, something personal that we want to do, and then a prediction. It can be magical Christmas land, like drug-induced paranoia, who knows what, off-the-wall, crazy stuff, or it can be completely down-to-earth realistic. Here's what we're going to get. So, a prediction and a resolution. We're back to the top with Leo.
Okay, well, for my resolution, I put finish painting my snowtroopers that I started. Well, technically, I put that I started back in the summer of 2022. I've actually got some of my snowtroopers, like these ones here, like these particular ones, I started back when snowtroopers originally released, and they're still only half painted. But then I bought some more for to make some Blizzard Force armies, and like so then these guys are like also half painted. So yeah, maybe someday I'll finish them.
Yeah,
By 2023 I may have at least one unit of the 4 fully painted and done. Guarantee it.
It's a good resolution.
And some of my predictions are, I put down, Shatterpoint's going to kill Legion.
What?
Legion's dead. No.
Of course.
Talk about a
Everybody knows
Shatterpoint.
this.
No, I don't. Okay, I don't really think that, but I do. I do
He kinda
have apprehensions.
It feels like it's going to be more up AMG's, like, in their wheelhouse, and they'll be able to execute it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
You mean they're gonna execute Legion?
I mean, part. I kind of feel like how all the Imperial Assault players probably felt back at that Gen Con when Legion was announced, but they were like, "But don't worry, we're still going to be making Imperial Assault. Don't you worry." Yeah, and we know how that turned out. So I don't know. We'll see where that really goes. And my next prediction is that Edge will at some point by the end of the year put out another blog post reminding us that they do in fact have the Star Wars license and they're doing something still that we'll see in the future.
Oh.
And I think the deck builder is going to be great. And that's at least that's my one thing in 2023 I'm really looking forward to is the deck builder from Fantasy Flight.
All right, Joe.
My 2023 resolutions is, like I said earlier, to do more RPG stuff. That includes trying out a West End Games adventure, continuing our High Republic campaign, and hopefully doing a couple, like, technically not Star Wars, but Star Wars things, like Christian's Sunless Space, and I've got, like, I think it's called... I don't even remember what it's called. Rebel Scum or something.
Going Rogue?
No, not that one.
No, Notorious?
Another one.
Oh, I do have Notorious coming in, but yeah, there's enough
and High
stuff
Ground.
like that. Yeah, I have the High Ground. So RPG stuff like that. Would love to do more of that. And then the other resolution would be I want to do more game shows on the Jodo Cast. Particularly, we've been working on a new and improved interface for What Is Misa Saying, a show I really like, even though we've only done 2 episodes of it. I love it, and got a cool little website we're working on to make that better. But I'd also like to do more Family Feud, and Clumsy and Random, I guess, fits in the game show category, sort of. Those are my resolutions.
Now, predictions, sir.
I predict that Jedi Survivor is going to be great. And that I am going to love it.
Yeah, I forget to put down my Survivor predictions. Oh, well. My predictions is it's going to be, at least, good as well. I personally, I'm doubtful if they're going to clean up some of the combat issues I had with the first one, but we'll see. I hope they do. If they can really tighten up the combat, it has just the potential to be a really, really spectacular game.
I predict that every other Star Wars video game in production, we will get nothing of unless they announce something is canceled. Like, oh, hey, Eclipse is canceled. Oh, the game Ubisoft's making, canceled. The KOTOR remake is no longer delayed. It's canceled. That's my predictions for every other type of Star Wars game. I think people are going to get really fussy and annoyed at Legion at the start of the year with all the new rules. I think Shatterpoint will be fun. I don't know how into it I will get, but I expect to enjoy it. And I think this Star Wars deck builder will be fun, but nothing that's like world-changing for me.
All right. It's Kurt's turn.
For resolutions, number 1, I need to paint more. I've just been in a big painting slump like all year.
Really?
I just need to it's been like really slow progress. I need to find a way to make myself paint every day or
once a week on Monday nights. That's literally the point that we created Mini Painting Movie Monday, because we're like, we're never painting. Well, maybe if we have this one time a week, we have to meet up and like
Maybe that'll turn it
encourage
around for
each
me.
other.
We'll see.
It
I
helped.
need to do
It
something to find the spark, because it's just, especially compared to last year where I was painting so much and it just dropped off this year. So I need to turn that around somehow. Just find some way. I also need to play tabletop games at the game store sometime. I don't know if I'll be comfortable joining a league, but I at least need to dip my toe into coming back, on some dead nights where there aren't a bunch of people around. Somehow. Need to do some games. And resolution to I think we've honestly been killing it on the YouTube channel this year. I think 2 Minute Unit especially has been really good. And we just need to keep that momentum going
now
forward.
we kind of have stopped to put them out.
It's hard to keep it on a steady schedule, but yeah,
after the holidays, maybe we can get back.
We can get in gear. I think
you guys have been
we just
absolutely knocking it out of the park. I'm not going to clap it in the microphone. I'll give you like the jazz hands clap. You guys have absolutely, all three of you. I know you've all three been working on the 2 Minute Units. They are fantastic. People can learn so much from those. They're great. Full stop.
We need to hire some people who don't need pay, is what we need.
Exposure. The best kind of pay.
So yeah, my resolution is that we're going to kill it even more next year with the YouTube channel. It's going to be even better. Some predictions. Mine are all pessimistic, and I'm sorry about that, but that's what I was feeling. I predict Jedi Survivor is going to have sequelitis. It's going to be sophomore slump. I'm afraid from the trailer. It looks very like Force Unleashed 2. I'm afraid I'm not gonna say it's terrible, but I'm afraid it's gonna be kind of mediocre or not great. That's what I'm afraid of. I'm also predicting Shatterpoint will be enjoyable, decent, maybe I'll try it out and enjoy it, but kind of forgettable, at least for me. I think I'll be oh, this is kind of nice, but I don't feel like buying it, or if I do buy a core, I won't feel like buying any expansions. That's kind of what I'm expecting. Hope I'm wrong, but that's what I'm predicting. Also predicting the deck builder will be decent, but also forgettable. I'm excited for it. I hope it's good, but it could just be kind of a basic game that's okay, but I don't end up playing that much. Could be just kind of a cash in. It's kind of what I'm expecting, sadly. Also kind of predicting that the Legion expansions we get, or the ones that announced, or they get announced, will be not as exciting as I want. I'm afraid that it's heading.
Seriously, your predictions sound like they should have come from me.
From you, yeah.
We let you on the show and you start stealing my thing. God damn it!
Yeah,
never rub
maybe
another man's rhubarb.
Our entries might have got flipped around in the notes, but I'm just afraid that Legion is slowly heading down this path that X-Wing has already mostly gone down for me, and that I'm going to be less excited about each expansion.
Well, I mean,
we'll see though.
This last, these last 6 months or so certainly haven't done a whole lot to build my confidence for the future of the game. That's for sure. Mm-hmm. Very excited to see that, going into next year now, Dark Troopers are going to cost $1 zillion per box.
That trend has already been going this year, because
they're going to be, what are they, 60 bucks
for one squad?
$60 for 6 minis or something.
Yeah. And the X-Wing terrain, I was so excited when I saw the pictures of it, but $100 is not, even for me. I will drop a lot for Legion expansions, but it's too much for even cool terrain. The Ewoks I should have been really excited for, and I didn't like the sculpts. Again, I hope I'm wrong on all these predictions. I hope I end up loving these games, but right now I'm not expecting that I'll love them. I'll be oh, these are okay. So I don't know. I hope it's better though.
Damn. All right. Well, man, I gotta follow that one. Uh, oof, I need a drink and a cigarette after that. My Evan resolution. I need to be streaming and recording painting. I think I've said this for the past 2 years, but I really enjoy like the couple times that I streamed painting and just chatting. I loved it. So I need to be doing that. And as far as the recording goes, I have recorded, and Joe has graciously said, "Hey, just get me the video and the audio, and I'll put it together." And I have just run into technical problem after technical problem, and it has driven me insane to the point where I'm just like, "Screw this! I'm out of here. I have better things to do, like go use the bathroom." So it's
You
just been
can record your
frustrating.
audio and go to the bathroom at the same time.
The
Yeah.
acoustics aren't gonna be optimal. It'll be really echoey in there.
It'll be fine.
Okay.
We'll just put a little note at the bottom of the video that says this audio was recorded while Evan was pissing.
Pooping.
There's been a lot of people streaming painting lately. People who I would loosely call friends of the show, or at least people that I follow on Twitter. And I think there's a real community out there that, yeah, I think you could tap into that. You know, there's people doing it.
Yeah, and I think I know some of the people you're talking about. Cool people doing cool things, and I
You
like
heard
it.
it here first. Mini Painting Movie Monday is hereby changed to Mini Painting Evan streams and we chat with him Mondays. Maybe also while watching a dumb movie. Maybe not. Every Monday night, Evan will be
I don't
online
know. The
streaming
last time
painting.
I did that, where I streamed painting while we watched the movie, you were like, "Don't stream and watch the movie at the same time."
I'm trying to lock Evan into a commitment to be streaming.
That's what I need.
Now that I've announced it, he's got to do it.
The only thing that we'll have playing while I'm streaming is royalty free music. So yeah, the one time I did that, I loved it, enjoyed it. I got to do it some more. Playing more RPG. Like I I have a group, but we barely get together to finish our podcast. I know there's a few people that listen to that, so we have a whole community here on the JodoCast Discord. I almost said forums on the Discord, and there is no reason that we cannot be playing RPG. It doesn't have to be streamed, recorded for entertainment purposes for other people. It can just be, okay, this is the night we're getting on. We've got multiple channels set up for it. Let's do it, people.
Yeah, bring back Jodo Dojo.
I was thinking of that the other day. Yeah, the Jodo Dojo. There's no reason we can't be doing that. And I need to actually play Legion again. It's been since pre-pandemic since I played a game of Legion. So,
I mean,
and
you
I was
technically played a learning game with me at Gen Con.
technically, yes, I did.
Technically.
Thank you for that. Actually, I'll play a game with you at Gen Con. Well, and I gotta if I'm gonna play any Legion at Adepticon, I mean, we got to get you ready, like one of those the training competition
Like a
house.
montage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
So
had
we
a
gotta do
list I was
that.
liking, but apparently I was playing some good stuff because all of my favorite upgrades in that list got a points increase. I haven't taken the time to try and remake it.
Oh. And my predictions, I have several. I predict that the Atomic Mass games core rules for Legion will be good. I predict they will actually be good. They will make sense. It seems so far like they are looking at how people are actually playing. They're not just creating these new ideas in a vacuum. They're not just theory crafting. They're looking at how people are doing it and saying, you know what? Let's just make that the official way, or at the very least say, okay, everyone agrees this is less than ideal. Let's rework this part. So I weirdly I have confidence that the core rules themselves will be good in spite of potential typos and broken links and not having the right cards in certain places. I think the core rules will actually be good. I also think
That makes one of us.
someone's, yours was more positive than Kurt's. Don't. He's trying to make up for it now by horning in on my time. I think we might see some High Republic games based on Phase 1. Because now Phase 1 is done, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Phase 1 is done.
Yeah.
And Phase 2 is started. So maybe, just maybe, now is the time we'll see like some Phase 1. I was just going to say merch. Because we don't have a ton of merch for High Republic yet. And now that like all the spoilers are, more or less done and that arc is finished, maybe.
It would be cool to have an RPG, like a video game RPG in High Republic.
That would be good. And there's still plenty of space for them to explore in there. They don't have to like follow the books. They can do whatever they want. And to go along with that, some actual news, real news, not just a hey, what
was that?
I don't know.
Was that a Dalek? Was that a Cyberman? That sounded like a Cyberman. Edge Studio will actually give us the down low. Either they got it or they don't, and here's the plan. I think we will get more than just, we're working on it. I think we'll get a yay or a nay on it.
Like they've maybe been working on something this whole time, and it's about to get announced.
Yeah.
No, I think I still say Edge Studio. They're just going to be like the guy on the cart in the Holy Grail. I'm not dead yet.
Oh, I was thinking of Last Crusade, not Holy Grail. Like, guy in the cart. What are you talking about? So that's us, and we have a few comments from patrons. We're gonna kick it over to the Beard, 1808, who says his 2022 highlights were managing to have mostly regular Many Painting Movie Mondays with Joe. Plug for that.
If you're listening, if you like us struggle to be consistent with your mini painting, come to the Discord. Usually every Monday we just group watch a movie on Amazon or Disney, and while we paint. A lot of times we don't even talk.
Monday evenings.
Yeah, Monday nights.
Yeah, Monday.
And it helps us keep at least a little momentum with painting.
He also 100%ed Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga. So
that's impressive, I say.
It is impressive.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Their resolution for the coming year is continue the highly successful tradition of Mini Painting Movie Mondays, or whatever day it winds up changing to. They also want to find a Shatterpoint group as soon as possible after release, so they don't feel like they're behind on the rules and knowing what's going on and being in the know. Which, that's me. I feel like everyone always knows more than I do. It's just like, I don't know. Oh wait, I do know. Sorry, bro. Cody Man. He is 2022 highlight. Ukrainian guy that makes fly casual not dead and still somehow updating it. Help me out with that. I don't recall what this is.
It's a X-Wing tool.
Yeah, you can play X-Wing online with the Fly Casual.
Oh, very nice. Their resolution. West End Games Star Wars RPG revival seems in full force. There you go. Dust off the old materials and find a way to play. Well, hey. welcome to the Discord. You've been here this whole time. You just got to throw some like fish flakes in the water and watch them pop up. And they do hope to play a Star Wars game on PC that doesn't suck. Although he thinks that might have been their hope for the last decade.
I feel like, okay, well...
You can play KOTOR 1 on PC. I mean, come on.
There's a lot of PC games.
New.
Oh,
no, that's not what he said. I'm reading it rules as written. There's lots of PC games from before 2012, aka before the last decade, that don't suck. Speaking of, there's that like unofficial remaster of Dark Forces that I hear is actually very cool.
Oh, that's
true.
I
want to try it.
Gives it like full resolution and all sorts of stuff.
I was getting motion sickness just watching that trailer. And we got last one. If I can find it, where'd you go? Where'd your comment go? Seth?
The one from Seth from
Yes.
White Fox. His prediction is that Edge will put out something concerning the Star Wars role-playing game, and announce that it's going to be released in 2024. I think you're being really optimistic there.
But the next one, his next
but
one,
he's just saying it's a 50-50 chance. It's just a Dungeons and Dragons D20 conversion, which, yeah, that would be super not cool, but
that's the hot new thing all the kids are doing.
I already have a whole shelf full of D20 conversion of Star Wars role playing. I don't need that again.
Everything old is new again. It all comes around.
Yeah, well,
even squares.
I mean, it can't be any worse than Saga Edition was.
Oh,
it's not my fault it sucked.
It was fine.
And his resolution is to play the FFG role-playing game and actually print some custom Genesis dice.
Now that sounds interesting. And it does help
Indeed.
that they are different shapes as well as different colors. So you could conceivably do them in different colors, in different styles, and just keep the shape and the symbols.
Yeah.
Or come up with your own proprietary symbols and have a chart that matches them up. Everyone loves tables, right?
I think you could just do... No, your symbol... I mean, it can be obvious. Thumbs up, thumbs down, happy face, sad face. That covers success, fail, threat, disadvantage, or advantage, threat. And then...
thumbs up, thumbs down.
I don't know what triumph and despair would be for the rest of them. Middle finger and...
okay. Although that's kind of not great these days, is it?
Eggplant.
Yeah.
Eggplant emoji.
Oh, yeah, poop. The poop emoji.
Triumph.
for despair. Or maybe taking a poop is a triumph. I mean, if you got to listen to a podcast,
only if you're also
toilet,
recording your painting video audio while doing it. That would be a triumph.
You just got to have a little table in there to wheel up to the Juan. All right, never mind. Although that might be our next Kickstarter project. No, it won't. We've never had a Kickstarter project.
Squatty potty plus painting table in one piece of furniture.
That's why we invented the painting potty.
Because every time you have to take a break to go to the bathroom, now you've broken your streak. You need to keep the painting going.
Yep. And if you need to replenish either your water pot or your wet palette, right there. I meant the faucet.
Okay.
All right. Well, what?
Just remember, wash your minis and wash your hands.
That's right.
I mean, if you have a bidet, that would be great for washing your
There you
paintbrush,
go.
right? Like rinse it off quick.
And getting the releasing agent off your resin miniatures.
Would you? You're on the toilet in this situation, though. Do you like lift up a
Yeah.
little and
You
hold?
just-
No, he
it
said
just
the
reach.
bidet.
Just gotta reach a little.
Spread your
Yeah,
legs,
gonna-
your knees
Well,
open, stick under
is-
there.
I think he's assuming you have one of the ones where it's the bidet is a separate
Oh, it's a separate.
appliance.
Oh,
You just-
like
from the
Europeans.
Yeah.
No, it can be. It can be built
Exactly.
in. It can be built into your
I
toilet.
think
It squirts.
most-
You just like
You spread your
put your
knees
mini
open.
down between your
Yeah,
legs.
easy.
We're already filming the informational video. This is going to go to Shark Tank next week. How much do you want for this project? $3 billion. You've got it. All right. I think that's probably it. How long has this been going? Oh, just an hour. Hour and 40 minutes. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. People can sit through that, I think. Thank
it's
you.
the end of year extravaganza. It's allowed to be a little long.
Yeah. Oh, it's too bad we don't have.
We've had highs, we've
Crackers.
had lows, we've laughed, we've
Yeah.
cried.
We've bled.
Can I throw in one more last minute category
Oh.
not related to gaming?
Yeah.
Best
Absolutely.
Star Wars show of all time of the year?
2-minute unit.
Andor.
Oh.
No,
and-
Andor.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
What a highlight of the year, am I right?
I don't want to talk about it because I don't want the listeners to know that Evan hasn't finished it yet.
I'm
If we
working
know
on
that,
it.
we'll
I'm
lose some
working on it.
credibility.
I have a very busy life. That's the life of a producer, a big shot podcast producer, executive, director.
He's making all sorts of calls.
That's right. I got to talk to important people on a regular basis, especially people calling that their system is down at 8:00 at night in Australia, and it's just like, okay, sorry guys, I can't join the podcast tonight. I got to help Australia.
He's got
With
to
that.
say-
But yeah.
You
I like-
notice
I
how
like the way
Australia
you-
is a thing. Thank Evan for that.
Where
I
was
just
I?
wanted to
I
say
like
that-
that just
Yes,
the way you said
Australia.
that implies that it's just one system for the entire nation, and you have to help Australia.
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. Yes, Andor. It's fantastic, and I think
Yeah.
it has kind of redeemed the live-action Star Wars television.
Exactly. I wanted to end on a high point that it's been in a lot of ways a good year, and even if you haven't liked every Star Wars show, it's cool that we've been getting a variety of Star Wars shows, including the best one ever, and it's been a good year for the podcast. We already said that we've been doing a lot of cool videos. I wanted to thank you guys for letting me join the podcast, and
Yeah,
it's been good.
game of the year is Kurt.
Aw. Play of the game. But yeah, no, we thank you for
It's
coming
been a good
on.
year.
Yeah, you know what many hands makes less work. Isn't that what they say up there in
Hey.
Letterkenny?
Hey,
And,
I had a goal to hit 2,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel. We are currently at 2,450.
Smashed past that
Wow.
goal.
Yeah, we hit 2,000 4 months ago.
Damn.
And
Nice
I
work.
do have, I've got a lot of stuff in my recorded backlog. I've got a lot of things that have been recorded that have just waiting to be edited because the current editing thing, I'm working on an X-Wing video and it's a process. It's taking a while because it's a long video and it's giving me technical issues too that are driving me crazy.
I feel that.
But we did a lot of great videos this year. We had Risk that was recorded last year. We finally finished that. We had more Ewok videos. We had like 30 or something 2-minute units. For sure in the 20s. I'm not going to look it up, but we had a bunch. And tier list videos and lots of different stuff. It's been really good.
Yeah, I never finished the tier list videos. There's one left.
That's a resolution.
But
There has been a couple people in the comments yelling at you for not
Yeah,
finishing.
my
the last
excuse is I actually was about to, but Chris's computer has been broken for a long time. So
Oh.
the last few times I'm like, okay, we got to finish this. He's like, I can't. My computer doesn't work.
Yeah, it is Chris's fault.
I did technically, we recorded it, but I was super tired the day we did, and when we were done, I was like, no, this is people are gonna hate this. I sound so dead. I don't want to put this out there. So I could technically go dig that up and put it out, but I think I should just redo it.
You could just like do like some ADR.
There you
Just
go.
dub back over yourself, sounding more
In
enthusiastic.
Japanese.
And then do an impression of Chris and just dub for him.
Well,
We
the
did-
most
we
watched
did get-
video on our YouTube channel was how to play Sabak, which did not come out this year.
Okay.
Yeah, it keeps getting hits. People like the Spock content.
We did get the best video response of all time.
Did we?
When Leo
What?
responded to us, you playing and me trying to coach you on Rebel Assault. And then Leo
Mhm.
responded with his own
Reaction video.
reaction video.
Yeah, we did Rebel Assault. We did that Game Boy Advance game. Me and Joe. I don't know. We did so
Yeah,
many
that's
videos
the
this year.
thing.
I can't even remember all the great content.
They're all
many did you
good.
do?
And I'll tell you what, the
Outer Rim. More Outer Rim videos with
The-
the expansion, too.
the most successful videos from this year are the dumbest of them. I'm looking at the analytics. The top videos from the last year that released this year were the Jedi Survivor trailer breakdown from May, which took me like 10 minutes and got like 20,000 views. And the rest are the tier videos, which did very well and took no effort. The only one that I'm like proud of is the Unfinished Business review. That one made the top 10 for 2022. It was like, sometimes it's hard being a YouTuber when you shit something out in 5 minutes and everyone loves it, and then there's a thing you spent like 50 hours on, and then it gets like 12.
Yeah, we promise this is not a pivot to low effort content. We're still gonna make great stuff.
I won't let there be low effort content. That's why it takes me so
very proud
to get out painting video.
People love our Outer Rim videos, and there's still people who want more Imperial Assault, and people like our, even though we're not like pro X-Wing players, people like the X-Wing videos. I think it's just because we do have good production value that makes these things a lot more watchable than a lot of alternatives.
I'll say it. The best production value of any YouTube Star Wars gaming channel. Yes. Sorry, everyone else. Ours are better.
All the YouTube channels dedicated to Star Wars gaming specifically, best tabletop videos.
We don't have a Yoda puppet with no mouth, but other than that, I think we're the best.
We do need more props. I've been thinking that we need more props. We just don't have a prop budget.
Some helmets would be very cool and we could do some Squadrons gameplay.
Yeah.
Because you can't play Squadrons without helmets.
There's probably
safety. There's OSHA rules to follow and stuff here.
Squadrons was free on Epic, so we should probably get in on that before everyone gets good or leaves the game again. So there's probably a lot of new players.
Oh, it's time to have a drink. Okay.
That would be a good comeback.
All right. Well, we're going to end it there. Yeah. Not quite as bad as 2021, I don't think.
I don't think it. No, I think 2021's end of year video, we were like, that sucked. I think this is pretty good.
Yeah, not too bad. We'll take it. Not going to return this one. All right. All right. Well, and again, thanks to everyone joining us tonight. Always good to have our awesome patrons with us live, contributing to the success of the show. They are what make all things possible. And with that, thank you, Leo. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Kurt. Thank you, everybody, for joining us and listening. We will talk with you next year, but continue to go to YouTube for more JodoCast content. Goodbye.
Bye. Happy New Year.
Say goodbye, Leo.
Fine, bye.